A study done by the United States Accountability Office estimates that for every $100 increase in the median rent, the homelessness rate increases by 9%. Despite the federal government spending $3.7 billion every year on preventing and reducing homelessness, the homelessness rate increased by 12% last year, with over 653,000 people living without access to any shelter. This problem is not just limited to America. A lot of developed nations are facing the same issues, but there is one that has found a solution. Yes, we are talking about Finland. Finland has taken various steps to virtually end homelessness in their country. The homeless population has been steadily declining since the 1980s and is projected to be zero by the end of this decade. Finland has the same issues, which a lot of other countries have, like expensive labor and materials to build homes, extreme weather conditions, and so on. So how are they able to solve this? And why haven't other countries done the same? To fix the problem, we need to understand its cause. No person willingly chooses to live on the streets. Everyone has a unique story and situation which leads them there. To make things easier to understand, we can put the reasons into three groups: financial, medical, and systemic. Financial part seems pretty straightforward, as unemployment, lack of affordable housing, and our initial reason of an increase in the cost of housing can force people to not being able to pay their rent or mortgage, leading to losing access to shelter. Whereas medically, about 85% of the homeless population reported having a chronic health condition. A third of them suffer from addiction, and about 40% from mental health issues. So there are a lot of people who face one or all of these medical issues, which are hard enough to overcome for people with steady jobs and access to help. Which brings us to the third category of systemic. As a population, there are always going to be people who make mistakes, and the ones who suffer from things like poor foster homes, abuse, and violence of all sorts, and so on. These people are the most vulnerable to becoming homeless. However, as a country, we have systems in place to help our fellow citizens. But unfortunately, things don't always work out. Not everyone gets the care and help they deserve, which is a massive system failure. When we look at all these things which lead to homelessness, it seems a very daunting problem to solve. So how did Finland do it? Well, a lot of countries try to fix the problems which lead to homelessness rather than helping the ones who are suffering right now. So Finland did exactly the opposite of that. While working on preventing homelessness, they provided housing first to the ones suffering the most. Every person who needed a place to stay got access to one. Knowing where you will be spending your night gives immense stability both to your day-to-day activities and also to your mental health. And it's not like they just moved all the homeless to some random city middle of nowhere. These properties are in the city and are filled with social workers to provide all the support one needs to get back into society as a participating member. Everyone accessing these places does have to pay rent, but it's a small fraction of the typical rent. It's not about the money. It's more about building the habit of work and accountability, which can change lives. And it's much easier to pay the tiny rent when you have people guiding you on how to overcome your medical issues, how to get a job, and how to navigate through this ever-changing society, all under one roof. The government estimates that despite spending all the money on these housing programs and the support workers network, in the end, the government still saves money from reduced pressure on the healthcare, police, and judicial system. This all sounds great, so why haven't we done it yet? Well, as you can guess, the main expense is housing. Honestly, with all these housing and affordability crises going around the world, which country or city has the money to buy up land and build buildings in major urban centers? And their argument is not wrong. Finland was able to do that because 70% of the land is owned by the municipalities. Whereas think of cities which have some of the highest rates of homelessness, they also have almost all the real estate owned privately and some of the highest prices in the world. Over time, people have proposed different solutions to that problem. One being the increased spending on prevention systems, which obviously is not cheap and really difficult in countries like America, where healthcare is not free and is really expensive. And even drastic things like building a community with the best facility and support system, but on cheaper land to actually make it possible. That has its own issues, not only financial ones, but also things like segregation and stigmatization. I think we need to do all of the above. We need to create affordable housing across the cities with access to the medical and social support systems, along with running and perfecting the prevention systems by increasing the quality and quantity of care provided. And sadly, because of governments mismanaging money and politicians not doing their part, this is just a dream. Comment below if you have any other solutions to the homelessness problem. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.